roll down to Charlie 5. You got to make the first available exit.
The aim is not regulatory, but while it's not regulatory, there are some things that we definitely need to take into consideration. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up guys? It's Clayton. Welcome back to another video. Today, I want to take a look at a situation that Vast Aviation actually uploaded to his channel. So if you guys would, be sure before you like this video, go like this video that we're going to react to, and subscribe to Vast Aviation because his channel is phenomenal. So in this video, basically a Cherokee is doing a landing at Vero Beach Airport, and they're doing a soft field landing, and as they touch down, the controller asks them to exit the runway at Charlie 4. They don't acknowledge the controller, and they roll past it and do a soft field landing and exit at Charlie 5. And basically, this takes place.
46 Mike, turn base, clear to land, runway 30 left, traffic now 1 mile final.
Alright, clear to land for 30 left, traffic on that mile final, 46 Mike.
46 Mike, turn left at Charlie 4, contact ground. Number 46 Mike, what are you doing?
Southfield landing, sir, about we're on Charlie 5.
You can't roll down to Charlie 5. You got to make the first available exit.
Sorry about that, sir. We're just practicing. He has a check ride in an hour, 46 Mike.
No, it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
Now, I'm not going to play the whole clip. If you want to see the controller's full reaction, go over to Vast Aviation's channel and watch the whole video. But I do want to talk about this situation because it's brought up an interesting debate online that I've seen a lot of people talk about, not only on YouTube, but also on TikTok. First of all, let's take a look at the aim. We take a look at FAR aim 4-3-20 exiting the runway after landing. Let's read this part. The following procedures must be followed after landing and reaching taxi speed. Exit the runway without delay at the first available taxiway or on a taxiway as instructed by air traffic control. Pilots must not exit the landing runway onto another runway unless authorized by air traffic control. At airports with an operating control tower, pilots should not stop or reverse course on the runway without first obtaining ATC approval. Now here's where a lot of people can kind of twist this, and it can be interpreted in multiple different ways. The aim says to exit the runway without delay at the first available taxiway, or onto a taxiway instructed by ATC. We'll get to that second part. But first available taxiway. It says at taxi speed, so if they're doing a soft field landing, one could make the argument that the first available taxiway at taxi speed would be once they kind of slow down and perform their soft field landing and get it down to speed, which of course, we all know if you do a soft field landing, you're going to roll pretty far. But here's the problem with this. They were instructed to exit at Charlie 4. The controller told them to exit the runway at Charlie 4, and they didn't. And the worst part about it is they didn't acknowledge or say they could not make Charlie 4. They ignored the controller on that. Now, the second part of the debate that's going on online about this situation is talking about whether the aim is regulatory. And it's true, the aim is technically not regulatory. While the aim technically is not regulatory, I'll tell you what is regulatory though, the FAR. So let's take a look at a FAR that they more than likely violated in this situation. We flip over to FAR 91-123, compliance with ATC clearances and instructions, and look at the Bravo excerpt right here. Except in an emergency, no person may operate an aircraft contrary to an ATC instruction in an area in which air traffic control is exercised. So it's pretty easy to make the argument that they did not follow air traffic control instruction of exiting at Charlie 4 when they were told to do so. You could make the argument that they did violate FAR 91-123. With all that said, I do think the controller's reaction was way over the top. Again, if you want to see the full reaction, go watch Vast Aviation's video. It has the full context of this. The reaction was well over the top from the controller in the terms of him using up all that frequency to chew them out when he could have just simply given them a phone number and had a conversation with them later. As we talked about in one of my previous videos, just because you get a phone number doesn't mean you're necessarily in any trouble. Basically, it allows the controller to have a conversation with the pilot and get them off the frequency, so they're not hogging up frequency. I'm pretty sure there was another plane holding short, probably waiting waiting to take off, and all he has to sit there and do is listen to this controller yell at this pilot, when the controller could have just given him the phone number and had the conversation with them later. With that said though, the important lesson the pilot can take away from this situation is just communicate with air traffic control your instructions. You don't need to tell air traffic control you're doing a soft field landing, but it would have been advisable for them to tell air traffic control that they intended to use the entire runway to practice soft field landings. The other part of that is they probably shouldn't have just straight up ignored the instruction to exit at Charlie 4. If anything, they should have said unable or just let them know what's going on. All this to say, the important aspect that we can take away from this is communication. Always need to communicate clearly what your intentions are and communicate clearly with air traffic control that you understand their instructions and you follow their instructions. If you can't follow their instructions, communicate with them, let them know. Let them know why you can't do it. Work with them so you can come to a compromise so it doesn't mess up what they're planning, but also helps you accomplish what you want to do. I think there's a little bit of blame if you want to point a finger that can be pointed at both sides on this. I think the air traffic controller could have handled this situation a little more calmly on the radio, but hey, I get it. Life can be stressful. Air traffic control can be a really stressful job, so we don't know what the controller was going through. He could have just been having a rough day, but again, could have handled that a little better. Pilot definitely on his side could have handled it better by acknowledging the air traffic control telling him to exit at Charlie 4. If not that, at least communicate with them his intentions and just give them some planning ahead of time. Great lesson to be learned all the way around. I'm sure this pilot, I would hope, didn't get a full pilot deviation from the controller, but also I hope that air traffic controller gets a little chat about maybe maintaining a more calm demeanor on the radio, not to cause some more undue stress or hogging up that frequency a little more. Let me know y'all's thoughts though. I'd love to hear what y'all have to say. Leave those comments down below, and I will catch you guys in the next video when we talk about another exciting situation. I'm kind of surprised it's not GMU this time. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.